messed around and found out. This is not the HBIC era anymore. This is Jada Parker's era.
If you come at the king, you best not miss.
Acknowledge us.
Hey, it's the Red Carpet Ring featuring TBK, the Turnbuckle King himself. Got another good one for you guys today. We'll talk about NXT, current WWE NXT results, and it's the major street fight. Roxanne Perez meets Lola Vice inside the ring and more. And of course, we got the bonus round here. Talk about the NXT Heatwave early predictions that will be this upcoming Sunday, right the day after Money in the Bank, the same weekend. We will talk about that as well. We definitely going to talk about it. Let's talk about it. We'll discuss the current WWE NXT episode, and also we'll discuss the news section. As I stated, that I started on Monday Night Raw. I started that recently, and I'm starting it here too. And I said it before, this will be my second time doing it. I will have what went wrong with NXT section. And of course, after that will be after the review, I will later on talk about the bonus round. So you don't want to miss out on that. Definitely don't want to miss out on that segment. We'll go over NXT. Thank you all for coming out. I'm here on Facebook and X as well. So also, I will be on there until the bonus round begins. But until then, I will only be on YouTube. So let's get into it right now. And let's talk about NXT, the episode. And I'll give my final rating as always. So one thing I do want to discuss. The kickoff was Jada Parker versus Michin. That was a street fight. This has been a boiling rivalry. It's been going on for a minute now. And I will say this was a great match. This is a very good match between Michin and Jada Parker. Michin won this match. So Michin got the dub on that. And I think this is the end of this feud. So Jada Parker wins. Michin won the first round. And this is the second match. Michin lost this time, but in very strong fashion. I like how she put over Jada Parker. Jada Parker, after this feud, I would say will move on. She's going to eventually compete and challenge Kalani Jordan, who is the current women's NXT North American champion. They're going to have a feud after she finishes her feud with Sol Ruka. I believe I'll get more into that. If Kalani's still champion, she's going to compete for the NXT North American Championship. But this is going to end her long rivalry with Michin, who definitely are put over. And they definitely had a great match, great match between these two. They did their thing. Both Michin and Jada Parker have great chemistry, and they worked well with one another. So great spots by both women. Michin, salute to her. She's been doing double duty. She's already a main roster superstar on SmackDown. And she's come down to NXT and putting in that work. So salute to her. She's been putting in great work and been putting people over. So I want to give her her due. Give her due. Great match by Michin and Jada Parker. Great way to kick off NXT. So I like that match, and I highlight the main matches of the night and main stuff that happened that night. Um, Another thing that happened too, we had a couple tag team matches. Another thing that happened as well. I don't know what's going on, but I'll mention this as well because it was they've been really mentioning this lately. We'll talk about Brooks Jensen being rebranded. You know, we know that Brooks Jensen was a part of Fallon Henley and Josh Briggs, they had their little stable going on, with a little part, their little group. They all agreed to go their separate ways a while back. Fallon Henley recently turned heel. Josh Briggs recently was in Stand Deliver triple threat for the NXT North American Championship. Meanwhile, Brooks just hasn't been doing much anything. Now he's rebranded. He's the guy that's been kicked off NXT. They mentioned Shawn Michaels mentioned it. Also, they mentioned too that Brooks Jensen, they gave him time to rebrand, refresh from himself, refresh, get new, and now they sound like they're really going full. They really going more with it. They're explaining more depth into the behind the whole Brooks Jensen thing. But I don't know what's going to happen next with this. But pretty much he's going to be rebranded as a crazy character in the crowd that has something to prove, and all et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we're gonna see what happens next with Brooks Jensen. Meanwhile, I will say that hopefully this gets him over, because we know he's been in tag team for quite some time now. But I don't know what's going to be next with Brooks Jensen, but he's pretty much at the rebranded stage. He's at the rebranded stage of his career. So we'll see what happens next with this character. If he gets over, if he don't get over, we will see what's going to be the next move with Brooks Jensen. We'll see how he's going to go over. He's pretty much going to be a heel, because there'll be segments that other superstars will have on NXT, and then he'll be carried up by the crowd. Remember, he's the same guy that cost Trick Williams his match last week against Shawn Spears by hitting with the announced table, and it allowed Shawn Spears to get the win over the NXT champion in a non-title match. So they're trying to do something with them. Hopefully they do. If this don't go nowhere, I don't know where else he's going to go. So Brooks Jensen will be rebranded. So we'll see what happens next with that. Addy Thine Nair, if I said that right. Yo, salute to you. Welcome to the ring. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button as you get into the ring, and notification bell on. But let's talk about another part of the show that was important. We're going to talk about the Lola Vice and Roxanne Perez promo. We're going to talk about that. Now, this promo here, it is pretty much stating that they had their one-on-one. It was a face-to-face interaction. This is before they championed the NXT Women's title match at Heatwave, Roxanne versus Lola. Roxanne let Lola know she's been beating everybody from Lyra to Jordan Grace to everybody. She's beating them all, and it'll be no different with Lola Vice. But Lola Vice saying she ain't just anybody. And they kept saying that, Lola Vice said, "We heard your story, Roxanne." She said she gave her credit what credit's due. She was talking about how, the clock is ticking on Roxanne, how she, did everything, take a bus to meet Booker. Then they did her story. Her story is she Lola Vice said she had a story, but before that, Roxanne makes a good point. She said Lola Vice has made a name for herself in the short months that she ever did in Bellator. She said she ain't the same woman that cashed on the NXT Women's Breakout contract. They dated back to that match when Lola Vice cashed it in. How she screwed Roxanne. Said it ain't gonna be just the cage you're in. Not gonna be an MMA fight. Not NXT Underground. It will be a wrestling match. And Roxanne said you're in her world, and she says she will make Lola Vice wrestle her kind of match. So that was a good match for MMA. So ain't gonna be no MMA. It's gonna be definitely Roxanne versus Lola. But Lola got into her story. She said that everybody don't know her story, saying that the reality is everybody don't know her story. She said that, while she was in there, said she had to She trained, said she her mother had her, and she had to do the whole. She had to stop the Olympic thing because her mother got sick. She said she started breaking down. As you see here that she had to stop. She said she would dedicate the victory towards her mother when she wins at NXT Heatwave on Sunday. It was a very good one, and it got emotional. She started crying and stuff, and said she at 20 years old she was fighting at the Madison Square Garden. Said her mother would be watching her Sunday, and then she said she'll call to us. She's the new NXT Women's Champion, and Roxanne Perez said she didn't know any of that. She said she respect Lola's story, and she said the reality is that every woman in NXT locker room wants to make the same phone call that she does. So Roxanne came back. She said while she's title holder, those phone calls are never gonna be made because she's gonna continue her legacy as the NXT two-time NXT Women's Champion. So it got very, very emotional, very crazy, very hectic between Roxanne and Lola. This was a very emotional segment and probably the promo of the night. And the crowd was definitely behind Lola Vice. Definitely behind Lola Vice. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen next with this match at Heatwave. But it was definitely a very emotional one. We're gonna see where it goes forward afterwards. But this was the promo of the night. Definitely promo of the night. So let's see. Noah Barbosa said, "Can you say him in mind, bro?" What? I don't know what you mean by that. They say Noah Barbosa. Well, salute to the ring. They've coming out. I don't know what you mean by mine, bro. I mean, anyway, we'll get back to this segment. It was a very emotional segment. Very emotional segment between these two. We're gonna see where it's gonna go next with these two. Um, it's definitely gonna be something interesting. Definitely interesting with these two. This is definitely gonna hype up their match for NXT Heatwave. And I'm gonna get more into that with the whole predictions, early prediction. I'll have final prediction, but it's definitely going to be interesting between Lola and Roxanne. Definitely interesting. This is probably one of the top matches you want to keep your eye on. You're gonna definitely want to keep your eye on this one. So we'll see what moves forward next between them. But I will say this. I will say this is going to be interesting where the next move is going to be. We'll see what the next move going to be as far as Roxanne and Lola, because now this getting turned to a very emotional, very, very emotional promo, and we're trying to see who the crowd going to really be under when it comes down to it. So we'll see what happens next with Lola and Roxanne because it's definitely going to be one. We just gonna keep an eye on that. I will keep an eye on this one, but you guys let me know what you think of this promo between these two. But it will be something. But other than that, it's the promo tonight. Definitely promo tonight. Promo of the night for NXT. So, like I said, definitely one of the main title matches to talk about. Definitely what you want to keep your eye on. But meanwhile, other than that, we're going to talk about another part segment of the show, and it will be the men's NXT champion, the main NXT championship for the men's, and this will be towards the whole Trick, Javon, Sean, and Ethan. So this is the contract signing, which was the main segment of the match. So we'll get to that right now, and this will be this segment here. This was a good segment too. It was not bad. Now here it talks about here they all had something to say. Ethan started off, then Sean went out, then Trick talked about it. Um, very good. Definitely, they was taking insulting each other like crazy. Anyway, Ethan Page said that Trick Williams will bring the same energy, whether it's a singles match or four-way. Um, he said he gave Trick Williams props. He's hot thing at WWE. Saw the swagger, saw the NXT Battleground, but Heatwave won't be the same as Battleground. Ethan Page made it clear that he does not have to beat him to win the NXT Championship since it's a four-way match. Every man for himself, and the champion is not dependent on the title. And Trick Williams said, "You understand that?" He said he knows what the stakes is. Page, he said the odds don't favor him. He said his back's always been against the wall. And, he said that Ethan Page always brings up his resume. And Trick said he got his own resume his own. He said he's going to add another win Sunday when he beats him and three other competitors, which is Javon and Sean in the same match. So he brought that up too. Now, also, I think Sean Spears got on saying that, he don't agree with Ethan. He says he's like any other sports team that's happy to be here. He said the other guys, he said too that Spears said that he want to bring that emotional energy and everything. But he said he's going to walk out the NXT champion. Then everyone was going on Javon Evans. Javon Evans said some savage stuff too. Javon was saying that, everyone's talking about how he's only 20 years old, taught the experience. He said how much you tell everybody how experience you had holding the NXT championship. He got it to Sean Spears, meaning Sean Spears has never been NXT champion. That had to sting a little bit. He got him there. He got him there. He basically put him on the list of never win the title.
You just made the list!
So Javon got it to Sean. But he got him good on that promo. Definitely got him good. Figure 4 TV, salute to you. I appreciate you coming out. But this was a good segment. Like I said, I'll get more into this particular the whole early predictions of NXT. But this NXT was mostly about segments and setups, because this was the whole card that they had that night. I forgot to bring up the card match. It was two sets. If you look, it was the contract signing for the NXT Championship and the face-to-face between Roxanne and Lola. You had street fight, and you had a tag team match. Tag team match wasn't bad either. I'm not going to get into that too much. It's obvious that Newcastle Republic is going to win. But other than that, that was a good segment. I'll mention other stuff that happened in the match. Let's mention it. We'll mention here that we'll mention the matches here. We'll mention that it was a tag team match with Newcastle Republic. It's so obvious. It was, like I said, it was a lot of matches that really didn't catch my eye that much. And I'll mention some of the matches now. They were really subpar matches. One match I'll mention too, I noticed to help Wendy Chu. This was not a match that really that caught my eye. It was not big. It was not going crazy over. It was an average match. I know Wendy Chu was in her brand new character. I know she in a new dark character, but really we didn't catch my eye that much. So this was a subpar match. Another match, we had Aura Mensa, versus Miles Bourne, one of the members of the No Catch Quarter crew. Another subpar match. Didn't catch my eye too much. It was average. It was a very average match, to say the least. Another match, that was on NXT. Like I said, some of these matches weren't even highlighted. They weren't even the main show. We had Izzy Dane versus Brian Lee Reese. Another match didn't catch my eye. It was a mum match. It was an all right subpar match. It was average, very, very average match. Like I said, the only match that was advertised that was solid, that I'll give some credit for, because these guys are already main roster people, and they really didn't, didn't surprise me either. The Newcastle Republic was solid. It was a solid match. Solid match by these guys. But like I said, a lot of these matches didn't catch my eye. This was pretty much a setup. But here's the thing: the setup for Heatwave, it could have been better setup. I would say, in my opinion, could have been much better setup, but it wasn't. The only another match that was a little over average. It did a little bit better than the other matches I mentioned, and I'll mention that match right now. This was right before the contract signing. This was Carmen Petrovic versus Jasmine Nix. It was all right match. It was I'll say a C plus for that match. One too fond of this match. But other than that, though, that was the end of NXT. I mentioned the matches, the segments. I'll give my review on NXT. Then I'll go what went wrong with NXT. This is my review of NXT. 3.5 out of 5. This was a very average show. To say, especially considering the fact that this was the go-home show before NXT Heatwave. Remember that. This is the help complement the Money in the Bank weekend. This is what we're getting this weekend, guys. We're getting Money in the Bank, Kickoff Friday, SmackDown usual Friday, Money in the Bank Saturday, NXT Heatwave Sunday. So for this to be a go-home show, for NXT Heatwave, to complement Money in the Bank weekend on Saturday, could have been a lot better. Could have been a lot better, in my opinion. That's how I see it. I think things could have been done a little bit better. So I give this a 3.5 out of 5. And I think the matches were average, as I mentioned. Most of the matches were average. Michin versus Jada Parker was the match of the night. The promo of Lola and Roxanne was the main promo of the night. I like Trick Williams, the whole contract sign. That was okay. I'm not saying it was the best segment of the night. It was okay. It was all right. Definitely okay. But I'll go on to my what went wrong part of the show. So 3.5 out of 5. You guys let me know if you agree or you disagree. What you thought of the recent NXT results of the major street fight, Roxanne Perez meets Lola Vice, everything. You guys let me know. I will go over to what went wrong with NXT. I'll go with my points. The first point I have, JC Jane, who's with Jasmine Nix. She recently got this mask from Cody Rhodes to help solidify her new character. We know that this was adopted from the Cody Rhodes old character. And he pretty much, gave the passage towards JC Jane. Why has she had no real match or done anything since that mask? That's been, 3 weeks ago. It's like Jasmine Nix is getting more of the matches besides her. JC Jane is more of a valet. She's more of a valet than a wrestler, and I got a problem with that issue here. A big problem with that. I'm not too big on that right now. I thought JC Jane, when she got the match with Dash and Cody Rhodes, I thought she was going to have matches, big rivalries, putting bags on people's faces, similar to the Cody Rhodes old Dash character, and she's going more of a valet. I don't like that. And with that being said, that right there, until JC Jane, unless they're doing something with her, it goes on my list.
You just made the list!
So I'm not feeling that at all. I thought more could have been done. When is JC Jane going to step up with that whole mask? When is something going to be done with the mask? I don't want to see her sitting there as a valet to Jasmine Nix. Jasmine Nix should be more of a valet to JC Jane. JC Jane, considering she's been around longer in NXT, in a stable Toxic Attraction, holding NXT Tag Team titles with Gigi Dolan, had a little rivalry with Gigi Dolan, and then recently with Thea Hale. I thought she'd be doing more. Maybe they will. Maybe they just moving slow with it. Maybe I should wait. But that's what a continuing thing I see wrong for the past several weeks. So that's one thing I see wrong. Another thing I see wrong. Nathan Frazier, NXT Tag Team Champion with Axiom. They're going to be defending titles this Sunday in Heatwave against Chase U. It's so obvious at this point that Nathan Frazier wants to be a singles competitor instead of not being a tag team. 1 week we saw him competed for the Heritage Cup Championship against Tony D'Angelo, the champion of the Heritage Cup. And he's supposed to be a tag team champion. He's more focused on that. So that I have a problem with. That was the starting of it. And when I saw that he didn't win that, I thought he was going to continue to focus on the tag team belt, but he doesn't. Next thing I know, he also has competed for the Speed Championship. Let's not forget about that either. So now he's competed for that belt. And we know the Speed belt, which is every Wednesday, he's competing against Xavier Woods. And this is a semifinals for the number one contendership for the Speed Championship. Now he's doing that, and he's supposed to be focusing on the NXT Tag Team Championship with Axiom. Make it make sense. You're making it so obvious at this point. I don't like that. I don't agree with that at all. That's a problem with me as well. 1 week he's competing for the Heritage Cup Championship, and now he's going for the Speed. Well, not even competing he's competing to be in a tournament for contendership for it. He's doing everything else that focus on being a tag team champion. Maybe the Heritage Cup was one thing. Now the Speed is another. I know Speed is on X. That's only a Speed thing, but they're making it so obvious, and WWE is giving it away that Nathan Frazier does not care about being the NXT Tag Team Champion anymore. He did before when they first won it, not so much now. He don't care about it no more. And I think they're just giving too many subtle signs of that. That's a big issue I see. Big issue. So I don't like that at all. I mean, it's too obvious at this point. I mean, just break them up already. And maybe that's what they're going to do. Maybe that's what they're going to do at NXT Heatwave. Maybe that's what they got planned. Because it's so obvious at this point. I mean, seriously, he just had the the Heritage Cup that he competed for, and he did not win. And he was talking about this match, and so was Axiom, because he was concerned. Now you're talking about this match again. Now you're talking about this Speed match on NXT. I mean, it's just so obvious. Look, he's competed in the number one contendership tournament for the semifinals for the Speed Championship against Xavier Woods. Why? Why is it being discussed? And he's not talking about their championship match they're supposed to be defending on Heatwave. We're supposed to be talking more about this, and we're talking more about this. That's a problem with me. That don't sit well with me right now. Another thing I'm going to get into right now that I see a problem with. Last thing I have a problem with. Great promo of the night. I give them they do. But another issue I see, and it's regarding Lola Vice. Lola Vice went from being the menace, someone that was destroying everything, and now she's victim. What do I mean by that? Lola Vice went from heel versus heel, Roxanne versus Lola. Very good, matchup for NXT Heatwave for the women's NXT Championship. But when Lola cut that promo talking about her mom and stuff and how she had to stop competing to take care of her sick mom, and she's going to call her mom after NXT Heatwave, you're forcing the crowd, the audience, to get behind Lola, because you feel sorry for her, and I did not want that. I didn't want that. And that's a big, you made the list on that part, on that end.
You just made the list!
I was behind Lola even before she got to this point. We've been behind Lola since she was feuding with Natalya in the NXT Underground, then Shayna for the NXT Underground. She defeated both women in that match. She was on top. She was unstoppable. We know she botched the NXT Breakout Tournament early this year, but since then she's been on a tear. And then when she cut this promo, now you're getting the fans, you're forcing the fans to get behind her over Roxanne, who is the champion, because you feel sorry for her. And now you make it obvious as well that she's going to win the NXT Women's Championship this Sunday. I have a problem with that. I think you didn't have to go so far in that promo where she got emotional. She could have just said, hey, I fought. My mom was sick. I took care of that. Or you could say, hey, I looked after my family. I fought. I was in MMA. I was in Madison Square Garden, and now I'm going to compete to fight you. You could have left it alone at that. But once she start getting emotional, start crying, talking about her mother, how she's going to make the call, now you got the fans forced to be behind her over Roxanne, who is the champion. Even Roxanne paused in that promo and saw like, oh, I didn't know that. Everyone feels sad for Lola. I don't know why I keep saying Lola. Everyone feels sad for Lola. Everyone feels sad for her. They see victim painted over her, and now they're gonna feel bad, and that's gonna be obviously gonna win the title on Sunday. So that's the things I see. The three things I see what went wrong with this current NXT episode. Now, other than that, another thing I want to point out, I said this already, but I'll reiterate it again. Again, I'll say this here. A bad show rating for a go-home show before NXT Heatwave. It could have been much better, considering this is the last show before NXT Heatwave. Bad show. Could have been better. Could have been a lot better. I thought could have been structured a lot better. We saw how Monday Night Raw brought it for their last show for Money in the Bank. I'm pretty sure SmackDown will do the same thing this Friday. I thought NXT rating the show overall could have been a little bit better since it's a part of the Money in the Bank weekend. So I wanted to, really emphasize on that. If you're going to do that, now if there was a regular NXT Heatwave USA special show, okay, I'll get it. Maybe they have something big. They may even still have something big for NXT Heatwave Sunday. Maybe they will. But to go home, maybe that's why it wasn't as, a high rate in my opinion. Maybe that's why they did that too. So we'll keep that in mind. But I still thought the show could have been better leading up to NXT Heatwave. But with that being said, that is the end of NXT Heatwave. This is the NXT results, the street fight, Roxanne Perez meets Lola Vice, everything. That is the main show. And we're going to go off to the bonus round. And we're going to talk about the early predictions of NXT Heatwave. We're going to talk about that right now. We're going to end it here on X and Facebook, and we're going to get into these matches. So let's get to that in a second. We'll get that going. All right. We are here at the bonus round, and we're here to talk about the NXT Heatwave early predictions. I will have final predictions. I'm going to go over each match, and I'm going to let you know who I have winning in particular each match now that the card's fully set. So let's start off. First off, we'll start off with Kalani Jordan versus Sol Ruka for the Women's NXT North America Championship. And with this is a good matchup between Kalani. This is her first title defense at a PLE event. I know she defended against Michin recently on last week's episode of NXT, but now she's going to defend it at definitely a PLE. We're going to see how this is going to go. If I had to take a pick right now, who I'm going to choose, despite Sol Ruka, she's been bringing it, Soul Snatcher. She's been putting up good matches too, and I even liked her performance at NXT Battleground for the inaugural NXT North American Women's Championship. I got Kalani Jordan retaining her championship. It'll be a very good bout between Sol Ruka and Kalani, but Kalani's going to get the dub, and it'll be her first defense at a PLE, and she will still be the NXT Women's Championship NXT North American Women's Champion. She will defeat Soruka. I don't see her losing this title right now. So I got Kalani Jordan for that. You guys let me know who you got. Let's go to another championship match. We got Nathan Frazier defending the NXT Tag Team Championship alongside Axiom against Chase U. And who do I have winning this match? If I had to guess, I got, despite what I just said on Nathan Frazier, him and the Axiom, the vibes be kind of weird. I got Chase U winning the NXT Tag Team Champions, and I got them being the two-time NXT Tag Team Champions. I see these guys winning the belts, and I see Nathan and Axiom having chemistry issues. The vibe's going to be off, and I see these two even splitting, maybe even having a future feud alongside Axiom and Nathan Frazier feuding against one another due to Nathan, like I said earlier, being more focused on a singles competitor than a tag team competitor. So I see Chase U defeating these guys, and they will be two-time NXT Tag Team Champions. That's how I got that one going. But there's some more matches I'm going to mention. We got a few more matches. So I got Chase U for the win. I see them defeating both of these guys. Next up, we have Obafemi, the NXT North American champion, defending his championship against Wesley. Wesley, who is in record books, as they said it on NXT current episode, he has the longest reign champion of all time. And he never lost the title due to injury. When he announced back in last December, he had to get back surgery. During that time when he was getting surgery, Obafemi, he won the NXT Breakout Tournament. He cashed in on the previous champion, Dragon Lee. He's been champion ever since. He's been defending the championship in great matches. Great match at NXT Stand delivered triple threat against Josh Briggs and Dijak. You recently against Battleground against Wesley and Joe Coffey and another triple threat. Now, the thing about it is, since he has been doing his thing, I see Obafemi retaining his championship again, despite Wesley, putting up a good argument to why he should get a one-on-one match. He's not going to beat Obafemi. He's unstoppable. Tyler Helton, salute to you. Welcome. Thank you for coming out, man. But I have Obafemi retaining his NXT North American Championship, as I do not see him losing the belt no time soon. But like I said, expect Wesley to put up a good fight. He will bring it to Obafemi. I'm not going to take nothing away from Wesley. But Obafemi is on a whole nother level. One of the best NXT North American champions I've seen. So is Wesley. When I think of the North American Championship, I think of Wesley. I think of the Velveteen Dream. I think of Carmelo Hayes. And now Obafemi is going to top all of that. He's going to be one of the best champions of all time. So he's definitely making this championship prestigious every time he defends it. So Obafemi puts respect on his name. He's doing his thing. Must salute to him. Tyler said, I hope NXT is going to be fire and Money in the Bank. No doubt. NXT Heatwave, I'm sure it's going to be fire. And of course, Money in the Bank is going to bring it. Money in the Bank is now part of one of the big 5 PLEs alongside Royal Rumble, alongside WrestleMania, alongside SummerSlam and Survivor Series. But other than that, it's going to be good. And I see Obafemi retaining this championship. Wesley is going to push Obafemi to the limit. He's going to push him. It will not be no pushover. So Obafemi will be pushed to the limit. But I don't see Wesley winning this title, as he already been a champion before. So he was the last dominant champion before Obafemi as of recent. So I'm not taking nothing away from Wesley. Great champion. But this is not his time. It is Obafemi's time. Oh, don't forget about that. Like I said, a lot of men have held this great championship. Remember, we had Roddy Strong, Keith Lee, Johnny Gargano. A lot of guys held this belt. Damian Priest, the current world champion. A lot of people have put some good prestige on his championship. But I don't see Wesley winning this belt back. I don't see Wesley beating Obafemi. I don't see it happening. Now, could Wesley get the title back at some given point? Absolutely, just not right now. Obafemi is doing his thing. He held on to this belt. Remember, he has been a very dominant champion. You know, just to give you guys a reminder, Obafemi, he has been champion now for 175 days. I don't see that title ending right now. It could be later this year, but I don't see him losing to Wesley. Somebody gonna have to come and knock him off bigger than Wesley. So I don't see him losing right now. Tyler, you said I got questions for what time start the NXT pay-per-view in Arizona. Oh, you're in Arizona? So you will be Pacific time. I'm in Central Standard Time, Tyler. So I'll be 2 hours ahead of you. I believe the NXT Heatwave. Glad you brought. That's a good question, though. NXT Heatwave, from what I've heard, it will start, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's going to start. Normally, the pre-show start at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if it's 6 for me, it'd probably be 4 o'clock for you. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. That is going to be I think that's the time that they have set for it. You know, I could be wrong. I believe that's where it's going to start. But Heat Wave normally starts 6 p.m. And remember, this is a PLE that's going to be on Peacock. It's not going to be a USA thing like last year. It will be. I will see it being starting at more likely it's going to be 6 o'clock for the pre-show, because there's always a pre-show and the main show starts at 7 o'clock. So I will say 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 4 p.m. your time. But other than that, Obafemi is going to hold on to this championship much longer. Now, when is he going to lose it? I don't know. I don't see him losing that belt no time soon. So watch out for Obafemi. Like I said, he gonna definitely push. He gonna be pushed harder than you can imagine. So it's gonna be crazy though. Definitely gonna be a crazy match. This may be one of the maybe underrated matches of the night. But that's who I got for winning. It's gonna be Obafemi. Now we're gonna get to the main championship matches. We'll start off with the women's, then we'll get to the men. Next, we got here Roxanne Perez, the two-time NXT Women's Champion, defending her championship against the very, very shining bright light right now in Lola Vice, MMA background. And I mentioned this before. I said this, that while Lola was feuding with Shayna, even when she was with Natalia, after she finished those feuds, she was going to be the front runner to challenge Roxanne for the women's NXT champion. Not North, I'm sorry. Her women's NXT championship. I said that she would be the biggest threat to Roxanne's championship, because Roxanne has defeated them all. She has defeated the Lyra Valkyrias. She has defeated Jordan Grace recently. She has defeated, I think, Tatum Paxley. I think she defeated as well. She defeated everybody. But Lola's going to be the hardest challenge in this current Roxanne's run as NXT Women's Champion. And with that being said, since Lola's been looking strong, despite the emotional promo, the heartfelt promo that everyone saw on NXT, and even before this heartfelt promo, already had in the bag who's going to win, but now it's for certain, definitely for certain. And with that being said, Lola Vice will win the women's NXT championship. I got Lola defeating Roxanne. She'll become the new NXT champion, and the crowd's gonna be behind her. She will defeat Roxanne, and it's gonna be a good match. Very good fight. Roxanne, I'm not taking nothing from her. She's the prodigy. She's the current two-time NXT Women's Champion. She's nothing to a slouch. She's gonna bring this like she brought against Jordan, but she will not overcome Lola unless she got to overcome the rest. Lola is going to get that big standing ovation. Expect a big, invite. Big celebration from the fans. And she gonna call her mom. Who knows? Lola Vice's mom may even be in attendance if they played off her mom calling her. She may even be big in attendance at NXT Heatwave in Toronto, Canada this Sunday. So I'm not taking nothing from that as well. So I expect a very good stellar match between these two. And I expect Lola to be crying. The crowd's going to be behind her. You're going to hear a lot of these, probably the upcoming NXT episode, and maybe even that night, because as I see Lola's transitioning to a babyface character now, we're going to see a lot of these this upcoming NXT. And you all guys already know what I'm going to go to. You already know where it's going to go. All right. So Lola will defeat Roxanne and become the brand new champion. So I expect that. I do expect a big celebration for Lola. It'll be probably confetti, everything all in the ring. And people are going to be really big behind her, even NXT locker room. Because Lola's been putting that work, and it's well-deserved when she do defeat Roxanne. And Roxanne, I don't see, and when Roxanne do lose, at least if she do lose, I will expect Roxanne to be she ain't gonna be in the main event picture no more. She'll have a few more feuds, and then she eventually go to the main roster. Let's be honest, Roxanne, there's nothing more to her to do in NXT. If so, maybe she'll get the women's NXT North American title. Not that she needs it. She made her mark. She's the prodigy. So I got Lola winning the women's NXT championship this Sunday at Heatwave. She will defeat Roxanne and become champion. Last but not least, let's get to the men's championship match. Let's get there. And it's going to be Trick Williams, the champion, defending his championship against three other competitors in the likes of Ethan Page, and the likes of Javon Evans and Shawn Spears. Now, despite Javon Evans looking strong, despite Shawn Spears and Ethan Page defeating both these guys in one-on-one matches, whoop that Trick Williams will retain the NXT championship. I don't see him losing his title right now. He'll lose it at some point, but not right now. Javon Evans, I said this before, Javon Evans, it's not his time yet. Ethan Page, he will get screwed over. I know Ora Mensa, they said that he will be banned from NXT Heatwave. He can't get his hands on Trick. He can't get his hands on Ethan. But expect Noam Dar, who was taken out by Ethan Page, that's still sitting on sideline. He will come back and attack Ethan Page during the match, as Noam Dar has not been banned from ringside. So expect that. And Shawn Spears, I just don't see him winning it at all. But I do see Trick Williams retaining, and due to all those distractions and people interfering, that's when Trick will hit that weak kick finisher that he got, and that's when he'll get the 1, 2, 3, and he will retain his NXT championship. Whoop that Trick. I don't know who his next challenger will be. Expect another TNA crossover, maybe Moose. They said Moose. I said this in my video. Check out the video of him talking about challenging Obafemi. Maybe he'll cross over to challenge Trick. Maybe somebody else from TNA, or maybe Javon Evans gets the one-on-one match with him, as it was originally supposed to be Javon Evans versus Trick Williams for the NXT championship. Then we figured that, and I called this before too. I said that it would be a four-way match, adding Ethan and Sean to the mix. Now I see that it's going to be eventually expect Javon and Trick to have a one-on-one. Ethan already had his one-on-one match at Battleground, didn't win. Sean Spears, he'll get a one-on-one, but not right now. Expect Javon as they heating up between these two. Expect that going on. Mr. Pro, salute to you, man. You've been busy in the streets, Mr. Approach. Thank you for coming out, man. Appreciate that. But yeah, I expect Trick will retain, but they're gonna run the whole original match. It's gonna be Trick versus Javon 101. That's gonna be at a later date. I don't know when they're gonna run that because after Heatwave, it'll be SummerSlam, it'll be Bash in Berlin. I don't know when NXT gonna do the Great American Bash. They normally run that program. I don't know if that's gonna be the case. Expect that to happen too. You know, I don't know if they're gonna run that this year, but they'll have it at some given point. If not, it'll be a Halloween Havoc or NXT No Mercy, whatever the case may be. But I do expect to see a one-on-one match between Javon and Trick Williams for the NXT Championship. Remember, we had Go Rush last year, spring breaking. I don't know, but I do remember a Great American Bash last year. At least I do. I don't know if they're going to run that this year. Well, at least in 2022 they had it. So I don't know when that's going to be. I'm not sure. They did have it last year because Great American Bash was July 30th. And since Heatwave is this month, I don't know if that's going to happen necessarily. But I do see Javon and Trick having a one-on-one match. At least that's how I would see it. I just don't know when that match is going to take place. But you could tell that it was Trick and Javon standing tall in the championship contract signing. Those two are going to eventually have a match because Javon is the young OG, as they call him, the future, everything, et cetera, et cetera. But I do see these two battling it out for this title at some point. I just don't know how they're going to – I don't know how WWE is going to do that. I don't know how NXT is going to run that, but I do see that happening at some point. So let's keep an eye out on that. At least that's how I would do it. So we'll see what happens next between these two. But in this four-way match, Trick Williams will retain. He will retain. He's not going to lose his belt. I don't see it happening. Other than that, though, guys, that's actually all I have regarding the NXT bonus round. We are talking about the NXT Heatwave early predictions. So that's what I have going in. This is the match I have going in. And I know also too, I know there's supposed to be it's all supposed to be a pre-show match. Now they do have a pre-show match. It's supposed to be, I believe it's supposed to be a they announced it at the end of NXT. If you guys care about it, it's supposed to be Carmen Petrovic and Ariana Grace versus JC Jane and Jasmine Nix, a tag team match. I guess you can put Carmen and Ariana there for the win. It's a pre-show match. But other than that, I'm talking about the main matches on the card. But other than that, that is all I have regarding it. You guys in live chat right now and in the playback, let me know what you thought of the recent NXT episode and also the bonus round of this upcoming PLE of Heatwave. We talked about the major street fight match, Roxanne Perez and Lola. And we also talked about the Heatwave matches, the predictions. Well, we gonna have a good weekend though. Very busy weekend. You know, we're gonna see what happens next because there's gonna be a lot of stuff going on, and it'll be very interesting to see what's gonna happen next. Other than that, we got two videos here. Check out these two videos. One match of the fantasy match that may come true. I know I talked about Obafemi and Moose having a match. Check out the video of the world champ versus developmental champ future match. And of course, another booking match I put together, Cody versus Randy WrestleMania, another video. And until then, guys, it is OUT.